Bonjour mes amis, hi guys, 2023 is coming to an end. I know you guys like to see a bit the streets of Hong Kong. It's still a bit early. It's 11 a.m. I'm taking the day off. I'm gonna go to the school for a show, and I'm wearing my Omega Museum. It's just a sumptuous timepiece, what Omega is able to do. I don't know why they don't do more of these, but maybe if they did, it wouldn't be as special. Anyway, my favorite watch for sure. Anyway, 2023 coming to an end, and you might be in the same sort of watch hangover as I am, and I feel like many people, at least here in Hong Kong, are. Not much is selling, whether you're an individual like me trying to sell a few pieces, or if you're a shop. I see pretty much any Tudor, any Zenith you want available in the shop windows. Nobody visiting those boutiques. Not the same for all the brands. I think Longines is quite successful. I always see people in those boutiques. I think it's quite popular on the mainland of China, although there's not that many visitors and they don't spend that much. But it's also not a premium brand. But yes, second-hand watches, consignment businesses, everyone has the same feedback right now. It's also tax season, so people are less inclined to spend money. They need money for the holidays. So there's not a lot buying. A lot of people try to sell things, consolidate a bit, and just wait around really to see what's going on, what new watches will come out in March. And by the way, March is when bankers get their bonuses, so it's more busy than Christmas, which is usually much more quiet. People think more about spending to go back home. By the way, this is Peel Street, and still quiet. It's a bit early, but always lots of Korean influencers taking the exact same picture in front of those painted walls around here. Also kind of a hipster hangout, this place, as you can see those two there taking their own pictures and influencing other people to do the same in the process. Not gonna trouble them too much. And here we are on Hollywood Road, and you can see there's another very popular wall over there. So yeah, as I was saying, there's a big gap, I think, between the Chrono 24 prices, dealer prices, which always include fees and all that, and the actual market. Yeah, it's still very early, but you'll see later in the afternoon a lot of people in this street to take their picture in front of this wall, which I pass by every day. This is the Soho era of Hong Kong. Used to be a lot more. I mean, it's still very popular. It's the most popular place in around Central. But a lot of shops are closed. A lot of landlords have kept the rents high to try to get rid of all the people renting the shops at the bottom, and then they just tear down everything to build a big tower. You see that on Elgin Street, here on Lyndhurst Terrace. So it's quite a changing landscape in this town. And of course, always you have those funny plates. This is my favorite. If you're a fan of The Sopranos, you will recognize that plate over there, the Badaboom, the famous strip joint in The Sopranos. Here you see more construction. It's kind of bizarre. There's loads of empty apartments, empty office spaces, and yet they keep on building in Hong Kong, while the economy is not doing great. China is in a dire straits, especially in the property sector, but also the manufacturing sector. So it's also part of my mood to be careful as I work in the finance business, I know that people are where people are removing money, and it's not really coming in here, but other countries are faring much better. Countries like India, in particular, to some extent Japan, but doesn't mean it's great for the Japanese themselves, because the currency is very, very weak, and salaries don't really grow, rents are very high, so there's a big divide between people who own property and people who have to rent. I'm part of them. Very difficult to own anything, which compounds to the mood that you gotta be careful. You see here, you used to have a couple of watch shops, and now everything was empty for a couple of years. The watch shops have moved a bit further down the road, and now it's being redeveloped as a big building. I don't know who's going to live there, and I think the big plan is to bring more mainland workforce here to Hong Kong. So it's going to be changing a lot, the city. But we'll see how it happens. Hong Kong is known to be multicultural, and whatever. Think of it what you will. Anyway, you always have those brand new buildings next to the old buildings. That's part of the charm, I suppose. Here you have the Bremont shop, and here One Lin Hertz. If you need to fix your Rolex bracelet, you can try classic watch repair. Brand new place here, beer place, quite popular apparently. I've seen quite a few people. Oh, you just saw a glimpse of uptick there. And here we have Pottinger Street, also very popular for people on Instagram. So later on today, a lot of people will hang out here. And here again, another place is being redeveloped next to Mr. Chrono, which used to be on where I just showed you over there, and now it has moved here, where the rent was more palatable. And next to it, another big development is coming out. So that's a lot of what you see here in Hong Kong is always changing. It's very different from Tokyo, where you can go back every 2-3 years, still the same shops pretty much out there. Things don't change as much. This is Wellington Street. You have little schools in those buildings, and a nice Audi. Jesus, what I guess this one is electric. That's over $1 million Hong Kong dollar. That's the e-tron GT. Little watch shop with a bit of Hamilton. Yeah, it's quite noisy around this era, and actually it got cold. As you can see, people are wearing a few layers. A week ago we were still in t-shirt in December. It's quite amazing. See, this place is brand new, and typically those places last a year and then they fold. And then lots of coffee shops as well. But yeah, it was still we were still in t-shirt a week ago, and then suddenly temperatures dropped from 20, 25 to about 10, 15. It's nice. It can cool off a bit before the warm summer months come back again. If you like to try local food, this is the sort of things that you might enjoy. Not really my favorite, but to which his own. And so yeah, the watches that came out this year were quite uninspired, and I felt, for example, Patek Philippe not really inspired in the terms of style, and they come out with very opulent watches with a lot of bling on it, which clashes with I feel the state of the economy, but I think people just have been gouging, after 3 years of amazing spending on luxury and a big boom in the watch market. Maybe some brands are gonna have to pull back, but they're still coming up with those. Brands also like Patek and Rolex and AP are used to people queuing for their watches. Is that totally sustainable? Probably not. And for now, they are still able to pretend that nothing is available, while I do believe that a lot of authorized dealers of Patek and Rolex do have a lot of models that they would not be able to sell if they were in the windows, but they still try to package those with other things. You can find many of their models actually at a discount from the grey market, or rather the second-hand market. But yeah, they managed to, for now, to keep the illusion that everything is impossible to get. I don't really play those games. I think there's enough things available. This beautiful shop, by the way, is the Vintage Concept, which was on Lyndhurst Terrace and now has moved a bit further downtown. Still the classics, people always love them, and even if the market comes off a bit, I think there's always a healthy demand. So that's for sure. I don't want to be all pessimistic. There's always a big interest, healthy demand, and I think people see a bit things differently depending on how long they've been collecting. I think if you've been very active buying, selling for 4 or 5 years, you've seen a lot, and you can take a bit more of a step back before getting too excited for a new release, while a lot of people are still joining this hobby that will always keep you poor. Good, you don't spend your money on drugs, and are still very enthusiastic and looking to buy things. But go back to my video about the 5 phases of watch collecting. Remember, don't spend too much on watches that carry the same movement. Atælier, Valjoux, Seiko watches, because it's a bit of a rabbit hole, and in the end, it would be difficult to resell without quite a big loss. At the same time, it's a great time to get a good bargain on all of this. But yeah, tough to resell, and get your first Rolex as soon as you can, and then if you think you will have the money to get a Patek, maybe a second-hand discontinued model, is what I would do, like a 6006, like I did. Then maybe skip the Jaeger-LeCoultre phase. I mean, they have some great watches. I think the sector dials that they only did for 1 year in a master control collection were great and still good buys. But afterwards, they went back to a more bland look for those watches. The whole master control line, also the prices have increased incomprehensibly. The chronograph full calendar came out at 14 grand. Now it's 19 grand. I didn't know that they were selling them like hotcakes, but maybe I'm wrong. Another Patek Philippe store, empty of clients. Just want to show you this one here, the 6007. Retailing for almost 300,000 Hong Kong dollar. That's over 35,000 US. It's just unbelievably expensive for what it is and what it has become since the 6006. That's why I bought the 6006. I don't think the 6007 is better in any way, shape or form. Yeah, they'll pretend it's not available, although it is, just to make you, to make you beg really. And I don't beg. I think there's enough watches around, as I said, to not to play that game. Same here. I mean, this is one of the worst culprits. This authorized dealer. Damn, I'd love this watch. This one is Emperor watches. Same thing. If you have the sales staff just standing there, not selling, pretending nothing is available, not selling anything. We'll see how it's gonna turn out. I do have a feeling that very soon we will see watches again in the display windows. But yeah, maybe I underestimate people's will to be subjected to authorized dealers' shenanigans. I think a lot of us who have been collecting for a few years won't even bother going to that shop, those shops. I don't. And if I want to buy something, I just go to the second-hand market. And yeah, it's a bit sad because that market was pushed artificially higher, as we know, by dealers, selling to flippers, selling back to dealers. And so when there's no money to be made, all those guys are gone. And I think there's still a lot we're still a long way from seeing the bottom, and only the really, really hot models, which were putting up the whole market, will remain as valuable. Here you have Cheung Kong Center, HSBC, you have Goldman Sachs, and all those banks. Department of Justice. And if you go up that way, you will find St. Paul's Church. So yeah, for me, really, I'm really enjoying my watches, and I've made 2 different boxes, and I forced myself to wear all the watches in a box of 8 watches for a month, and then I switch. And I take the other box, and that way all the watches get worn and enjoyed. And also I don't see some of the watches for a month, and it's a nice way to enjoy what you have. And I think I have enough, and I have seen enough, and I am trying to sell some watches. It's kind of difficult, but really this year we haven't seen that many great design. A lot of it is just a rehash of something, a lot of vintage rehash, new colors, and I'm a bit sad of what's going on with the brands that are part of a big group. I think the best group, my favorite, is definitely the Swatch group. I like what they did with the 50 Fathom collab with Blancpain. I really like what Omega is doing, and I think Omega is doing right by their collectors. They're doing a lot of events and opening big luxury stores here, and I think they really try to get into that gap that Rolex has opened for satisfaction. People going to a shop and buying the watch that they want. Yes, they have some models a bit harder to get, but eventually you can get them, and the prices have remained somewhat reasonable, especially in comparison. I think Richemont has pushed longer GLC, IWC prices beyond what is acceptable. But hey, if they manage to sell enough watches, good for them. I think people who are a bit more knowledgeable about watches won't be spending retail. And we go back to how the market should be. 5-6 years ago, retail was for suckers, and then we got, really suckered into paying a full sticker, and I'm guilty of it, and I certainly will lose some if I need to sell some watches. But hey, what happens is that you gotta scratch the itch, right? If you don't buy it, then you probably feel you're missing out, and you think about it. Well, at the end, it's just money. You can always make more money, but it's going to be harder to make money in the coming year. Although the Dow in the US, the Dow index, is reaching a high, which is just so hard to understand, given I think the overall worldwide credit situation and slowdown of the Chinese economy. Here we get to a Princess Building. Yeah, it's a Richemont building, really. You have a Vacheron, you have the Jaeger-LeCoultre new boutique with an expo about the Reverso. So here, Vacheron, the way you welcome is. Usually they say that everything is reserved. They don't say display only, they say it's reserved. So maybe things are moving on, and finally they are selling some watches. So here's the beautiful Jaeger Reverso Expo. I had a nice tour of it, and this is a prototype of it, of their most complicated, the Hybris Mechanica. And they have some vintage ones in there, so if you're in Hong Kong, but probably be going around the world. Some nice vintage and new pieces, tourbillon and all that. Here we have the Lange boutique. I miss this watch. Used to own the 1815 annual calendar. Still love it. What else is in the window? I hope to get one of these eventually. But to get one of these, you gotta stop buying. You gotta stop buying altogether everything else, because once you have this, why would you spend on other things? But I really like Lange. I love to listen to Wilhelm Schmidt, the CEO. I think he's making so many compelling arguments for the brand. Really a wonderful guy. Maybe one of these with the moon phase would be great. I don't think I can spend the retail money. It's just too high now. It's not for me, but hopefully it's for you. And yeah, so let me know a bit in the comments, how was your watch year? Are you looking to spend on watches at the moment? The Cartier boutique with the service center here in Princess Building. If you need to service your Cartier, be careful. If you don't want them to change the dial on a almost vintage watch, if you don't want them to polish, you have to mention it. They will swap dials even if you have a rare dial. So be a bit careful with that. Here you have a Frank Mueller. Here we have a Reverso coffee place. Not really sure what the deal is. And here we have the F. Pigeon boutique. I went inside just once. What's the point? I mean, I know people who do go a lot just to say hi, and apparently it helps people, the sales staff knowing you, but yeah, I can't be bothered. And anyway, I think the retail price has gone very, very high on them as well. Is it still worth it? I don't know. I'm saying hello to the friendly staff of Lange. Really enjoying this boutique, loving the watches. Wow, the Zeitwerk date, outstanding. But there you go, guys. This is a bit a walk around Hong Kong. Hope you're gonna have a great Christmas. Happy New Year. The sales staff is ready in every boutique to sell you watches at retail. Hopefully you guys can afford it. Not really the right time for me. I just bought a car, going on holiday on Friday with the family. I'm counting every peso, that's for sure. All right, guys, a little reflection of optic in the window to say goodbye. And I'll speak to you, maybe another time before the new year. But if not, have a good one. Bye-bye.